Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on PoliWine, where we like to take a deep dive into stories pulled from the media and have a fun time while breaking it down. I'm Jillian, and let's get into it. Well, in the world of politics, today is a very big day. Over in Anchorage, Alaska, President Trump is hosting a peace summit where he has invited Putin over to start having some conversation, hopefully negotiation on some way to end this war in Ukraine. And look, crazier things have happened in history. And if there is any way somehow that we can end this very cruel war, then I'm all for whatever it takes. You name it, I'm for it. Like I said, crazier things have happened. So let's give it a go. I did see earlier on the news where both Trump and Putin both had landed in Alaska. They greeted each other right there on the tarmac. It was a warm welcome, a positive greeting. The two of them have had a, cordial and good relationship in the past. So hopefully that will continue on, that good relationship and positivity, and will carry on through this summit, meeting, whatever you want to call it. But right now it is just Putin there. So let's hope this is a good stepping stone, a good starting point to move this in the right direction. I've heard a lot of different opinions online, in conversation with me. A lot of people love to tell me their opinion. I've heard it all. But if there's any way we can help in this war, I'm for anything. You never know what can come out. We may get something, may get nothing. Even Trump himself said there is, in his opinion, in his statement, a small chance, I think he said like 25%, that we may not get the outcome we want out of this summit. But that happens. You take that chance when you go into a meeting. It may or may not work out. You may not get whatever you want. Some people may have to give a little, give more, whatever may happen. I just hope there is a peaceful resolution, and change can happen over there. It's gone on for way too long, and whatever we can do to end this war, I am for it. And on the other end of the Trump sphere, Melania Trump has had a war of words with Hunter Biden. Can you believe it? It doesn't end with that family and the two families. Well, Hunter Biden was on a podcast and made some pretty strong statements and allegations, if you will, about how Melania Trump met Donald Trump, and it all kind of ties back to the Epstein files. And this is allegedly, these are his statements. Well, allegedly, Melania Trump slapped him with a very threatening warning and saying, if you do not stop it and take it back, well, then I will sue you. Yes, a cease and desist. And did he stop? Did he apologize? She also asked for an apology. No, he did not. He went back on the podcast and doubled down. So game on. The war of words continues. The battle between these families. Wow. When you go after family, it is a deep cut. And that wound takes a long time to heal. And, well, this is where we are. It's a deep one. Now, also, if we stay in the world of politics, let's work our way back into D.C. Yes, there is still conflict happening in D.C., and now the troops are marching in. Well, the National Guard has moved in to the nation's capital. They've declared it a crime-ridden city, so that is why they have called in the National Guard for assistance in law enforcement and help clean up. And, there's definitely been a major cleanup. It's hard to watch as somebody who lived in downtown D.C. and worked in downtown D.C. for a very long time. I have just recently moved out of downtown D.C., and I have to tell you, I love that city. It is my home. It will always have a place of home to me. I love it. And to see military in the streets of DC is very unsettling. It's unsettling. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I did live in DC at a very young age during 9/11. So I remember troops in the streets of DC for a very long time and fighter jets flying over the city for a very long time after 9/11. And it was different. I can understand that there was just a major terrorist attack and there was a lot of uncertainty and there was a big feeling of unsafe at that time. It was different. We kind of expected the military there. We wanted them there. We needed that sense of security. It's different here. It's different now. And I don't know, when I see in news clips or friends of mine that still live in the city are sending me videos of, military in parks and people videotaping them and them making arrests. And it's difficult. I hope for the military that are there doing their duty, I hope they are treated with respect. It's a tough situation to be in. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's just weird to see military everywhere in the streets of the nation's capital. I don't know. The one major thing that I hear both on the news and from people who locally live in DC is they don't really see the military going where the higher crime tends to be. They see them more in the touristy spots where there's not so much crime. And there seems to be kind of an imbalance and maybe some inconsistencies there with where they should be doing major work. I don't know. It is just an interesting thing to see. But, some people are here for it. I have heard from people that live in DC and have been directly affected by crime. And they're like, nope, I'll take what they can get. I'm here for it. Okay. For those people, there's the additional help that you need. And I hope you get the outcome that you're looking for. For a lot of other people, it makes them feel unsettled. And then let's not forget about what happened to Gavin Newsom yesterday in California when he was speaking. So there's that too. So DC, California, when we talk about that happening, ICE everywhere. Well, if that's not freaking you out enough, well, let's get a little bit of humor out of it, and then let's work our way over to South Park. This is where we're starting to get a little bit of our transition here into TV. South Park really went in hard last week on Kristi Noem and the administration. Man, they went triple dog down on Kristi Noem. And I'm saying the dog situation because we all know her history, shaky little history with dogs. And man, were they just messing with her glow up. She would start talking, and you know how Kristi Noem does not miss a photo opportunity on television. And so they were really playing off that. And every time she would get on TV, she would start talking, and her fish would start melting. And then the glam team would come up, and you had like this whole NASCAR pit station sound go, give me the boat truck. I mean, they went on hard for her and the whole administration. But again, that's what South Park does. They're doing it well, and they're going with the hot topics, and it's all about the administration in the first 2 episodes. I mean, they went in hard. Funny, very funny, but yeah, they went in really, really hard. But I mean, South Park is timeless, ageless, and it always kind of cracks me up. And as we talk about NASCAR sounds coming off Katie Noem on the South Park episode, well, let's work our way over to NASCAR, which I rarely talk about NASCAR on this podcast, but this deserves a little conversation. Well, last week during the Xfinity series, there was a NASCAR driver, Connor Zilisk. Well, after his win and when they do their victory lap and they get on top of the car on victory lane and they drink the milk and throw it back, I always thought that was dangerous. I'm like, that is a slippery substance on a slick surface. This is not going to end well. I've always said that. Everybody thinks I'm too dramatic. Just like I said, the water slide thing about the whole Caribbean clear slide. I always said, don't trust it. You're dramatic. Nope. Well, here we are in NASCAR, slippery surface, and a liquid substance don't go together. Well, he stands up on the car, does his thing, drinks his milk, pours it on him, slips and falls. And I don't know if you saw the video clip of that fall. Oh my God, that is a hard fall on your face. And he fell and broke his collarbone. Yes, broke his collarbone. And it was a nasty fall. Took it in stride, released a statement. He's fine and doing well, but what a tricky fall. I've always said, careful. That's dangerous. You should be drinking that substance on dry land, okay? You shouldn't mix the two, but took it in stride, and hopefully he'll be back soon. I don't know what a collarbone injury is going to do in driving. I guess that's not a good thing to hold it like, I don't know. But Connor, careful, lesson learned. Okay. But when I saw that, have you seen the video of that fall? Oh, that is a world-class Hall of Record fall right there. That was nasty. And on asphalt, no thank you. Now, let's work our way over to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, and I've looked this up, in 149 years of baseball, that is with the two original leagues, and then when they joined together, when is it, like in 1903, and formed the Major League Baseball League. Well, in 149 years, this past week was a very big moment. They announced their first female umpire in the league's history. Well, congratulations to you, Jen Powell. You are the first female umpire in Major League Baseball. Go get them, girl. And to all the men out there on the field, I hope when you are up at plate and she's calling out the signs and she's calling out the plays, I hope it reminds you of the sweet sound of your mama cheering you on from the bleachers behind you from when you were a kid. I hope it is a moment of nostalgia and a full circle moment. Congratulations to you, Jen Powell. You earned it. That is huge news. Now, let's work our way over weather. As we are talking about what's going on in the mid-Atlantic area in the world of politics, well, let's spread it up and down the entire East Coast. We are keeping our eyes over in the Atlantic, and that is because Hurricane Erin, yes, she is circling around in the Atlantic. She's about 400-ish miles off as of now, off the Leeward Islands, and we are keeping our eyes close to the Caribbean and to the Atlantic East Coast for sure. We're looking at the spaghetti models. It looks like it may not, as of now, make contact to the East Coast. We don't know. It can go in any directions. It's kind of far enough off right now. So it could make contact. Hopefully it's going to work its way out back to the ocean and avoid us. But we are keeping our eyes open and watching you, Erin. Stay at a safe distance, please. We're not ready for it. But right now, Cat 1 just named. So we've got a little ways. We're keep this weekend. We'll see which direction she'll be tracking. That is for sure. And while we're talking about hurricanes, and we're going to segue our way back over in TV, I kind of stumbled across a new show. I was watching something on HBO Max, and gosh, I don't even remember what I was watching. But this series, Eye of the Storm, came on. And I guess it's season 2. I didn't even know there was a season 1. This series I was not familiar with it. But it started to play, and season 2, episode 1 started, and I was in and out of the room, and it hooked me. I stopped, I sat down, and I learned a lot. I was in awe, I was in shock, and this all was, when being filmed, this was happening live. So let me walk you through it. In this series, they're talking about all different types of weather, extreme weather, hurricanes, tornadoes, derechos, you name it, we're going all over it. And in this particular episode, it was this intense series of storms working its way across Texas. And in this episode, there was this young guy who was this storm chaser, and he was definitely brave, and you got to be a little crazy to get that close and chase a storm that can kill you. And he was right up on it. And he's like, look, I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up with tornadoes, and I want to try and get these images out to keep people safe. And admirable work. Scary work, but I salute you. And this guy was right up on this massive tornado just sweeping across this really small town through Texas. And he goes down this one small, lonely little road to get up close to get this view of this tornado. And thank goodness he did, because he pulls up and he was like, oh my God, did that just hit a house? Because there's not much out there. And he was like, oh my God, I think it just hit this house. And this guy is filming this tornado live for local news and the weather, I'm guessing the Weather Channel, and incredible footage. And he's got a camera, and he's got like 2 phones, and this is all like live streaming and just recording. And he's watching, he's like, oh no, and he just sees this devastation of this house just completely demolished. And then he's like, oh my God, there's people. And this family comes running out of this house that was just completely toppled on top of them. And this mom that's holding this young kid, and this other kid, and this dad, and this dog all jump into this storm chaser's car, and they're bleeding, and they're severely injured. And the tornado still ripping behind them. And they're outrunning this tornado, and I don't know what this guy's driving. It looks like a small, like, little hatchback, and whatever it was handled this tornado just fine. And he rushes this family of strangers to the local hospital, and this is all being filmed right when it happens. And this guy's just like, get in. This family jumps in the car with the dog, and he's like, the mom's like, please get us to the hospital. This kid's bleeding. This kid's calling 911, or I don't want to say this kid, this young man, who this storm chaser, he is in this extremely stressful situation, cool as a cucumber. He's on the phone. He's calling 911. He's trying to communicate to the family. He's trying to get an assessment of injury so he can communicate that to 911. I mean, well done to you, storm chaser. And he was like, how are you? And the mom's trying to, tell him what's happening so he can communicate it to the 911. And she's like, this is so-and-so. This is my son. This is my daughter. This is my husband. I'm so-and-so. Who are you? And he's like, I'm Freddie. And she's like, Freddie, nice to meet you. And thank you for saving our life. This kid was a hero that day. You would have known, driving down some small little road, that you saved an entire family. So this is all happening live and being filmed. He gets this family to the hospital. Everybody pulls them out. They're taken away, and the guy just pulls over as soon as he drops them off at the ER with their dog, their family dog, sitting on the lap. The dog's just in shock too, just like, thank you, Freddie. I'm sticking with you. You saved my life. And the guy's just sitting there in shock, like, oh my God, on the phone with his mom, like, I can't believe what just happened. He's like, I'm so glad I went down that road. She's like, oh, honey, just a proud mother moment, but shocking. you got me, Freddie. And then, like, the next episode, reeled in, and there was another major system. So I learned about tornadoes, hurricanes. You spoke to victims, those who were directly affected by these major weather systems. You spoke to meteorologists, local journalists and weather station witnesses, other people, some way, somehow involved. So, really good, different perspectives of this storm. So, I learned a lot. Didn't expect to enjoy it. Very much enjoyed it. So, Eye of the Storm, if you like anything weather related or just to see some kind of live, intense action, well, that's definitely a series for you. Like I said, I've only seen the 2 episode on season 2. So I'm going to have to go back and watch season 1. Unexpected, good find. Good find. Also ties in like historical facts and what happened. And you learn a lot, and you learned what to do and what not to do in emergency situations. So if you learned something, good on you. Well worth it. And if we stay on HBO Max, but have a different turn into series, let's go over to The Gilded Age. Well, we had the season finale. What did you think? I was a little mixed on the season. I was really kind of, sticking with the season between you and me. Kind of just sticking with it to watch the fashion. I love the costume. I love the setting, and I love the historical parallels. But a lot of story. I like that you're seeing an evolution in women in society. You're seeing that change. You're seeing a turn in history. I like that. The writers must have gotten the memo that a lot hasn't happened and people are kind of phasing out a little bit. But they have picked up the pace. Boy, the storyline has happened. The dad was shot over a business deal. And the season finale, wow, a lot was happening. And they ended up tying many of the stories throughout the season. There was a lot of tie-in. And I like that. So there was some good closure and a little bit of a cliffhanger too. So I like that. So let's get into it. We're dealing with the death of the carriage scene. Whoa, that happened fast. And how Oscar is reeling from the death of his love, but trying to make a new niche in society. I like this new story developing there. We had the ball where Peggy Scott was proposed to by her darling doctor. I mean, Felicia Rashad as the future mother-in-law, her character, oh, that was a tough character. Felicia Rashad, you played that character very well, but ooh, as we're having both balls happening, the one with Peggy Scott, she's getting proposed to. We have the balls with the Russells, and Miss Astor had to show up. By the way, the lights, the backyard of illumination was a beautiful backdrop. Very lovely ending. Everything was ending on a high note and so happy. And then as the next day rolls around, the daughter is introducing the wonderful news that she's expecting child. The mom is dealing with the heartbreak that the father wanting to be separated after she just nursed him back to health after being shot, after he showed up to the ball, making everyone feel that everything is okay and they were back in a good place. Well, I want you to know I showed up for you, my darling, and put on a show. But now that I am feeling better and back to myself, I want you to know I'm still pissed off at you, and I'm going back to the club and leaving you. And I get to do what I want and leave to my own dalliances. There you go. And that's where we left off in the Gilded Age. Really good ending. Even I was like, oh no, it was such a good note. Oh, well, that's where we start off on the next season. So Gilded Age, good ending there. I was pleased, and I always love the costumes. The costumes are just out of this world. to the design crew, just a really a great job. Really a great job. Now, I do want to make one correction. I have to make a correction because I'm going to be talking about this show again because I am hooked. Last week, I said about the Apple TV Plus show, Chief of War with Jason Momoa, that it was all in subtitles. At that time, we only had 2 episodes that had dropped, and they both were all in subtitles. This past week, we had a new episode drop. Still, a majority of the show was in subtitles, but there was some English in there as well. So I think we're going to start to see more of a mix, if not maybe more English. I really hope that the subtitles continue. I enjoy that real aspect to it. I really appreciate it. So I hope they do stick with it. But Chief of War, Apple TV Plus, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. And if you want some beautiful beachy backdrop, that's where it's at. Hawaii. You can't go wrong with Hawaii. I am so into that show, and I will be watching the next episode later on today. Absolutely. Now, I want to work. Of course, we always work our way over to Bravo at the end of the show. I have to do a quick little recap, but I really want to get into Below Deck. This past episode of Below Deck, ooh, icky, ooh. Kyle? Okay. Kyle, this was your birthday week and your birthday episode. And live it up. And live it up you did. Some people want to go drink and go have fun and party. Sure. I guess you could say you did that. This episode, and in definitely your own Kyle kind of fashion. It got a little raunchy, and it got a little raunchy quick. You know, I've always kind of been okay with Kyle. Because he says some funny things and he's there, but there's something off this season, something in the eyes with Kyle. I don't know. Like, I think he definitely got really hurt over the whole Celine thing. He said he didn't. Whatever. I'm kind of okay with it. She can do what she wants. But there's definitely a little hurt there. But I want you to go out and have fun on your party. But man, it took a turn this episode. So everybody on Below Deck, and this is definitely this crew. Everybody gets a little bit, we hear about the boat romances and the hookups and the flings on these boats, but there's some major sexual tension, sexcapades, and sexually active crew. Probably the most sexually active crew I've seen ever on all the Below franchises and seasons. And that's saying a lot. Everybody's hooking up, and that's fine. Who cares? Who judge? Everybody's, fluid and feeling themselves. Fabulous. You do what you want to do. But I'm not judging, but this episode, we were all judging. So it's Kyle's birthday. They want to go out and go have fun. Oh, but as they're getting ready, everybody's pre-partying, having fun, and they're all discussing the whole last charter with Helen and her crew and that whole debacle with their freaky guest, Kelly, who got kicked off the boat and should have been. And they got a poor tip. They had a really bad tip. So Helen, sorry. Hope you enjoyed your time. Probably not going to come back because you're a terrible tipper. So they're all discussing this as they're pre-partying and getting the vans to go out. And Kyle lets it slip and tells them that he slipped it in on Helen when they were in the water. Oh, yes. Yes. Right while her husband was there. Yeah. And everybody's like, what? Are you serious? Like with the charter guest while they were there? What was happening? Well, that's what he's telling everybody. But everybody just kind of blows it off thinking that Kyle's just wasted already and just talking shit. Well, he keeps saying it. Well, whatever. Everybody's just blowing off. Well, they get to the restaurant And everybody's ready to go have a good time, celebrate Kyle's birthday. Let's do this. Let's go have fun, right? Well, they're there having shots, having fun, eating food, and you just see Kyle like just laser eyeing it at this girl at the bar. Okay. And you just see him like in this like drunken stare, just get up and nod his head like, I'm going in. And just beelines it for this girl at the bar and says, you know what? Hi, I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to come over and say hi. And this is where I love the shady editing crew. You guys just keep getting better and better. And I'm not just talking about your Instagram walls that keep flashing up. I'm talking about the timer, the ticker. I love it. So he goes up to this girl, introduces himself. She introduces herself. I'm so-and-so. I'm Martine from Boston. Hi. And the timer starts at the bottom. Just met. Within like 6 minutes, they're making out and kissing. And within 13 and a half to 15 minutes, they're getting up, hanging out. And he's like, if you walk away anywhere, Martina, I'm going to follow you. I think you're beautiful. And she's like, well, I'm going to walk up to the beach. You want to join me? He's like, yes, I do. And the next thing you see them going down to the beach, and you see the camera from a distance, kind of like filming from afar. And you see this silhouette of those two, and he's taking off his clothes, and you see him taking off her pants. And talk about sex on the beach. Oh, yeah. It's on. There's some fun time and sandstorms brewing there. And it's on. And they have their moment and they walk off. And next thing you know, you see them coming off the beach and they're having fun. She's like, I'm going to have to get your information. We should keep in contact. He's like, yeah, no problem. And next thing you know, they pass like public beach bathroom, public. And they walk past and he was like, we can just go in here, joke around. She's like, yeah, let's just go in here and have sex. Right? Well, they do. Public bathroom on the floor. And then you see Frasier go to walk into the bathroom and he walks in and walks right on them having sex. And he's like, oh, stop, pause. Edit crew, good on you again. You just see this rewind, pause, action on the side. And Frasier stops. He's like, oh my God, they're having sex on the floor in a public bathroom. And then Frasier, being as shitty and funny as he can be, he's like, pardon me, madam, how's your head under that urinal? Ew. Yeah. Disgusting. So he runs into Jess because him and Jess were just having a cigarette on the beach, right? And he's like, oh my God, he's having sex in there. He's having sex there. And Jess peeks in and she's like, oh my God. And then takes like a picture of it, And then Jess and Frasier go back to the table and everybody's finishing eating and it's Kyle's birthday. So he asked the waitress to make the birthday special. So she brings out like a little cake, some fireworks, everybody's singing happy birthday. Kyle is not even at the table, not even there to enjoy his birthday moment, his cake, his cocktail, none of that. So they're all laughing, singing happy birthday to an empty chair, cheering it on, taking videos. And they're like, where is Kyle? The rest of the table. And Kyle's like, I just witnessed Kyle having sex on the bathroom floor of a public bathroom. I'm like, what? Ew. And Jess is like, yeah, I took a picture of it. And all you see is the back of Kyle's body. But the camera crew didn't go in. They did not go in. You could hear sounds from the outside. But Jess just took a clip picture of it. And she was like, you didn't think I'd document this? And they were like, oh. So they were all making fun of that. And they're just like, that's disgusting. And Kyle's just gross and nasty and saying really nasty things to Celine, which comes back later like she was better than you. And she's like, were you with your lady of the night? And he was like, well, she was better with you. And then when they get back to the boat later, she's like, why did you say that? Like, that was not necessary. And quite frankly, it was just hurtful. And, if you're going to say kind of shitty things like that to me, then
maybe we shouldn't even kind of be friendly because maybe you're not the person I thought you were because you're kind of an ass. And he's like, I never said I was a good person, so whatever. And then he starts bragging again that he had slipped it in with Helen in the water, the primary of the last charter. And he's telling everybody, and everybody still kind of thinks it's bullshit, but whatever. So they're all shit-faced. They go to bed. They tell Kyle to go to bed. And the next morning they get up and they're talking about it. And like, everybody kind of heard you. And Damo goes to him. He's like, look, look, we were talking about it, Fraser and I, and you said it to everybody. And even if it's true or not, you put enough doubt in everybody's mind and you literally said it to everybody, it's probably going to get back to Captain. And if he finds out and we didn't say anything, we could get in trouble. So you really should say something to Captain. So he's like, yeah, okay, fine. So he told Captain. Captain's like, what the? Why would you say it? And he's like, and Kyle's like, I just totally made it up. And he's like, well, why would you make that up? That makes no sense. So Captain's like, I'm calling BS on this. So he interviews everybody and everyone's like, yeah, we all dismissed it because we just thought it was just drunk talk and just outrageous, right? So, he thinks he's going to get fired. And so Captain Carey calls down. He's like, look, I don't have any evidence that you did it. I think it's stupid. I've got my eyes on you and I don't want you close to guests anymore. But, yeah, I can't fire you so you can stay, but there's going to be some consequences. So he's like, thank you, Captain. I appreciate it. So as the scene is wrapping up, and so is the episode, and in the, the interview, the producer's like, so did you do it? And Kyle's like, I guess you'll have to ask Helen, and wouldn't admit to it. Like, what the? Like, give us something. So then he was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen afterwards, and Andy Cohen was just drilling him, and he was on there with Fraser, and he of course still denies that he had any interaction like that with Helen. And so, but then Andy was asking him, drilling him with questions like, have you, like he did this game, like where did Kyle stick it in? And he starts asking him all these nasty places, porta potty, airport, all these nasty places. And he was like, yeah. The only two places he said he didn't have sex, by the way, he did in a porta potty. Disgusting. Oh my God. So I guess the beach house public bathroom was a step up from a porta potty. Oh my God. But he said the only place he didn't have it was a 5-star hotel and an airplane. All the other ones, he's like, yeah, I did it there too. And they were nasty. And then he admitted to Andy Cohen, he's like, yeah, I really actually want to be a porn star. I think if I was given that opportunity, I think I'd be good at it and I would like it. And okay. Well, you're well on your way. Well on your way. Martine, I don't know what kind of feedback you're going to get online after this interaction, but but her friend at the bar was like, where have you been? Are you okay? Like brushing off her back, from the sand. Like her friend was like, is everything all right? Like what's going on? Like, yeah. But Martine, she saw what she wanted. She went at it. So did Kyle. So, hey, if you're both in for a good time, have fun. But Kyle, ooh, and everybody's looking at you differently now. And oh. I don't talk about Below Deck too often, but this past episode is like, ooh, nasty. But there's something off in Kyle's eyes this season. And last episode, with that whole interaction with Celine in the jacuzzi, and he was like, I never said I was a good person, because he's Scottish, that really thick accent. He was sloshy too. I didn't like the way he was looking at her. I didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable. But Kyle, we got our eyes on you, and you seem super sketchy now. And I don't know if you've heard from Helen, but something tells me you probably will. So who knows? But there is a lot more to get to that we will on Bravo that we will get to on the next episode. Bravo gave us some extra stuff this week. They gave us 2 episodes of The Real Housewives of Miami. We have to get into OC. There's other things to get into. I am ready. But that is it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us on PoliWine. Please follow us on Instagram at PoliWine Time. And please listen to PoliWine wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you so much and have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.